Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Monday, April 13th, 2026. Stand up for your country. More craziness in the Iran basin, but I'm getting the feeling that things may start to turn positive for the USA and, of course, the world, but the world doesn't know it, in a day or two. Could be wrong. This is speculation, but there are some positive signs, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So, over the weekend, talks in Pakistan between Iran and the USA went nowhere. Everybody's out of there now. So, it was, I don't know, a waste of time, but certainly the mullahs are feeling no pressure to comply with President Trump's and Israel's demands. They like this. This is good for the mullahs. Helps spread the jihad, okay? They're not in any mood to compromise at all. So the United States now has to try to starve Iran out. And they're going to do that by blockading the Straits of Hormuz to all shipping in and out of Iranian ports. If you're a Saudi ship or Emirates, you can go through. But if you are attached to Iran, dropping things off or picking things up, you cannot. And the U.S. Navy will enforce that. And I have the utmost confidence that the Navy will. In the meantime, they're kind of clearing out a lot of the drones and mines and things like that. And CENTCOM, U.S. Central Command, says that this is only impacting maritime traffic to Iran. Okay, so nobody else is involved unless you're buying stuff, and China does, and that's big, okay, from the mullahs. Now, is it going to work? Who knows? But there's a pretty big chance it will. And that means that all commerce inside Iran will stop. And people have to eat. So that's the strategy now. Will it bring the mullahs to their knees? Nobody knows that. You can watch stupid cable all day long and they'll speculate, but nobody can possibly know. A negative to this is the UK. And that's Keir Starmer, the prime minister, says, we're not going to help. And that means that none of the other NATO countries will help either. And they could with the blockade. All right, but they won't. Boy, oh boy, that's really a negative for the world. When the whole continent of Europe sits it out. There's a reason they don't like Israel. Nobody likes Israel, and they don't like Trump. That's it. If another president were there, they'd have maybe a little, but with the Greenland thing and all that, this is personal now. It's not good. And there's nothing Donald Trump can do about it at this point. Can't force NATO to cooperate. Now, other countries, like aforementioned Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, will help. And that'll be a new alliance there. But it is a conundrum. That's my favorite new word here for the United States and Israel. And I wrote a column yesterday, and I hope you read it on BillO'Reilly.com, called Disruption. Again, the mullahs like this. This is good for the jihad. We're powerful. We're going to do what we want. That United States isn't going to show us anything or tell us what to do. That's the mentality here. It's not like we want to make a deal. They don't want to make a deal. They're like Putin in Ukraine. It's almost exactly the same mentality. Now, maybe they will have to once they're starving, but I don't know. This morning, the Dow opened 184 points down. It recovered in the afternoon. Oil is up to about $104 a barrel. That's up 60% from a year ago. So everybody's suffering. Higher prices, we'll tell you about that in Smart Life. It's just a reality. And a lot of Americans don't like it. And some of them will vote against Trump because of the higher prices in the midterms. The president has to know that. Now, he's hoping for a positive outcome so that the prices go down quickly, but this is very intense. You may remember at the beginning of all this, I said that this was the biggest gamble of the Trump presidency. And it obviously is. Could go either way. In the meantime, the media continues to pound Trump because they hate him too. It's very much like Nato. This is personal. And here's what the president said about the media. Go.
It's so sad when you look at CNN, the New York Times, ABC fake news, NBC fake news. When you look at this stuff, it's so sad to see it. I mean, they report things that they know are false. It's almost treasonous, actually, if you want to really know the truth.
Okay, so summing up, President can't pull back on this now. He's got to carry it through. So there can't be any mullahs get to keep their uranium or they get any participation in Straits of Hormuz. That can't happen. With Trump's presidency be destroyed. So he's got to know that and makes it very much complicated. But I just have a feeling that this blockade in Hormuz is really going to energize the Persian people because, boy, oh boy, I think it's rough here, us paying more over there. Oof. And that's the memo. All right, so the Pope is involved with this, and it's being reported all wrong. So the Pope is in the turn the other cheek business. That's the business that the pontiff is in. Turn the other cheek. Okay? Peace at almost all costs. You remember in the gospel that when the Nazarene was being condemned, he was mocked by the Roman centurions and even some other people that had proximity to him. Well, if you're God, bring down your angel legions and free, that kind of thing. And Jesus just stood there and looked at them. So the Pope is in the peace business. That's where he is. President Trump's in the confrontation business. He wants to solve problems that some are violent. Okay, obviously the mullahs having a nuclear weapon could lead to worldwide destruction. Okay? So there are two different points of view here. It's not like the Pope and President Trump are sitting down and they're trying to figure out a strategy. There are two strategies. Okay? The first strategy is Pope Leo saying, everybody stop, we want peace, warmongers are bad. And the other one is Donald Trump saying, hey, I have an obligation to protect the American people. Here's what the president said on Truth Social. I don't want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't want a pope who thinks it's terrible that America attacked Venezuela, a country that was sending massive amounts of drugs into the United States, and even worse, emptying their prisons, including murderers, drug dealers, and killers, into our country. And I don't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States because I'm doing exactly what I was elected in a landslide to do, unquote. All right, so President Trump is mad at the Pope. He doesn't want the Pope intruding with criticism on him. The Pope doesn't much like President Trump. Roll that.
I will continue to speak out loud against war, looking to promote peace promoting dialogue and multilateral relationships among the states to look for just solutions to problems. Too many people are suffering in the world today. Too many innocent people are being killed.
Okay, now if I'm discussing this with the Pope, I'm saying yes, but what is the obligation that you have as the leader of the Catholic Church worldwide to stop that killing? So innocent people are being killed, right? That's true. What's your obligation to stop it? That's my question. The Pope is going to say, my obligation is to tell everybody not to do it. His business is not in public policy. This is like comparing the Navy SEALs to the Carmelite nuns. Okay? The SEALs are in the business of warfare. And the Carmelite nuns are in the business of helping people without any violence whatsoever. And there never will be. So I hope you see, and the two sides are talking past each other. All right? If I could moderate a discussion between the Pope and President Trump, I could get a consensus on this, I think. But that's not going to happen, of course. Anyway, so there's literally abroad no one sticking up for the USA in this, and there are a lot of people enabling the mullahs, and that is the memo.